Hello, greetings. Welcome to week one of scripting. I know all of you are anxious to get started and to delve in. Hopefully, you had the opportunity to look at the course overview. And I'm going to try something different this semester for the recordings I have for the weekly. I'm going to go ahead and make them embedded so that when you come up, you see it right there, and there's maybe more of a chance that you would just click on it and take a look at that particular week's events and lessons. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the video lecture for week one for scripting. And we're going to start talking about PowerShell and why PowerShell matters. Later on, we'll get into some definitions and some terms that I want you to be sure that you study and you understand, because it's going to be easier for the homework, for the assignments, for the project, that when we actually do reference certain terms, that you're aware of what's happening, what's going on, and what they mean. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So let's ask something. If I ask you to create 50 new user accounts manually, one by one, how long would it take? Now, I know your first answer is, well, it depends on the number of steps. Okay. But what I want you to do is just think about it. Just if you were setting up some accounts on your particular server. Now, probably, 10, 15 minutes per user account, maybe a half hour per user account. Okay, so we're talking, anywhere from, 10 to 25 hours. Well, think about it. What if that changed to not only having to do 50 user accounts, you had to do 500 user accounts? Okay, and most people think scripting is for programmers, but it's not. And looking at the example, we can say that it's for people who are tired of repeating the same task over and over again. This is what scripting would do for us, is to eliminate that need. The click and command comparison. In Windows, you can click through menus. Click here, right click, left click, side click. So, you navigate settings, or you can do one command. For example, in PowerServe, you can say get process. And what that particular get process is one command that just shows you everything that is processing or running on your computer. No clicking, no navigating, just control. Okay, so if we look at the bigger picture, okay, PowerShell is not just a command line application or command line event. It is a management and automation engine. It can manage Windows systems, control servers, deploy cloud resources, automate cybersecurity tasks, integrate with DevOps pipelines, and we're going to get into some of those definitions specifically in a little bit here. This is why system administrators and cloud engineers rely on scripting, is to eliminate that manual intervention that we have to do, and makes things basically quicker to get things changed. The shift in thinking is this. In this course, you're moving from using Windows to controlling Windows. There's a difference between clicking through a system and commanding that system to do things. By the end of this course, you will not only know commands, but you will know how to automate systems. And automation is what separates a user from an administrator. Your training here is preparing you to become an administrator. Okay, so let's get it going. Okay, so here's some key terms that I want you to. I normally don't like to say that you should memorize, but in this case, I want you to. I want you to take time to learn and understand and retain the definitions that are basically being displayed here. It will later on, you'll see as we go through various exercises and homework and quizzes and projects, you'll see these terms again, and it's better that you have a good grasp of what they are, so the next time you see them, comprehending what they're basically used for in particular cases will be easier. Okay, so Not often I ask you to do kind of a memorization, but in this case, I want you, and this not this week, but for other weeks, I want you to look at those definitions that I'm giving you and understand what they're doing. If you don't understand, you can email me, text me, or you can, get with a classmate and ask the question, or get with chat and say, look, I have this term, I have a general understanding of a definition, but I need some more information on it. And chat will give you that information. Okay, so let's start out. We got PowerShell. PowerShell is a command line tool and scripting language created by Microsoft. It is used to manage Windows systems, automate tasks, and control cloud services. Scripting. Scripting means writing small programs called scripts that automate tasks instead of doing them manually. Instead of clicking through menus, you write commands that will do the work for you. Windows administration. Windows administration is the process of managing and maintaining Windows computers and servers. This includes managing users, managing files, managing services, updates, and security settings. Cloud environment. Cloud environments are online computing platforms like Microsoft Azure or AWS, Amazon Web Services, where a server and storage and applications run over the internet instead of on your local computer. PowerShell can manage both local Windows systems and cloud systems. DevOps. DevOps is the practice that combines development, and IT operations, or better yet, development and production. Getting information and getting things happening. When something happens in production, we have to change it, we have to fix it. So we're going to need to do some retesting. Do we want to do that one test at a time, or do we want to do a whole series of tests that we can control by a script? And so that's what we're describing here. Is DevOps is a practice that combines development, dev, and IT operations, ops. It focuses on automating software deployment, testing, system management. PowerShell is often used in DevOps to automate systems configuration and deployment. Again, we're not looking to click our way through these particular things that we need to do in testing, for example, but is able to put these scripts together so that once something happens in production, we want to test out our fix in dev and DevOps, we can say, okay, run the script. And the script will go through the necessary events and testing and verification all at one time rather than having to do it in pieces. Commandlets. Commandlets pronounced commandlets. C-O-M-M-A-N-D, lets. Are building PowerShell commands. Examples. You can have a commandlet, for example, called get process, get service, get demand. We're going to be defining these a little bit later down the pages. Built-in help system. PowerShell has a built-in help system that explains how commands work. You can access it using get help, get process. This makes PowerShell self-documenting. You'll see something else, and one later on is going to say that in PowerShell, you're not looking to know the particular process or event that you want to do. In PowerShell, what you're doing is you're being able to put yourself in a position that you can look it up. Okay. And when you look it up, PowerShell will give the answer back. Somewhat like chat, but in the case of PowerShell, we're using the features built into PowerShell to help us to get the information quicker. Okay, execution policies. Execution policies are security settings that control whether PowerShell scripts are allowed to run in the system. They help prevent malicious scripts from running accidentally. .ps1. .ps1 is a file in PowerScript. It's a PowerScript file. So you'll have the name of your particular script, .ps1. For example, I can have backup.ps1, cleanup.ps1. Each one of these is a script that does a particular function. So this is the file extension for PowerShell scripts. Automation tasks. Automation tasks are repetitive jobs that are performed automatically by the scripts. For example, create users, backing up files, installing software, generating reports. We can put all that information in a script and then basically run that script in order to do all the various functions that we need in order to satisfy that particular script purpose. So these are just examples. We'll be talking a lot more scripts as we go along into the course. Get command lists all available commands in PowerShell. For example, get command will help you discover what commands exist. So you may not know all the commands, but by doing that get commands, it will basically list them, show you a brief description, and you can pick and choose the particular command that you want. Get help. Get help displays documentation for a command. For example, get help, get service. That will tell you about what the functionality of get service is using that get help. So basically it's the documentation that's built in for get service. Basic command output. Basic command output is a result displayed after running a command. So for example, I say get process. This outputs a table of running processes. PowerShell outputs objects, not just text, which makes automation powerful. And keep in mind that this concept of doing an object, okay, concept of working with objects says I not only look at the documentation in the what I'm basically using to run. Yeah, I'm looking at what it does. I'm looking at the attributes that are needed to do it, but I'm also looking at the processes, the methods. You know, just as in object-oriented programming, we basically are working with objects, and with those objects we have methods associated with it that allows us to do things, and then there's characteristics for various variables. So that's what we're basically doing here. PowerShell is not just a command tool, it's an automation platform. Focuses on moving you from a manual managing systems to controlling everything or controlling them with scripts. Okay, so that's the basic overall of the beginning commands we're going to be dealing with in week 1. Okay, so now we're going to kind of delve in and now that we kind of define those, we're going to look at some of the things that we want to do to get started and how do we get PowerShell up and running in VB. Simple, first line demo. Okay, this is a structure so it shows smoothly and builds confidence. Okay, so what I want you to do with this and have it basically ready by our class. Our classes will be on Tuesday. Okay, so coming Tuesday, my expectation is that you will have executed and have PowerShell set up. Also in the resources area, I have put a document that will step-by-step walk you through setting up PowerShell in Visual Basic. Okay, so here we go. That's step 1. You want to open PowerShell. Okay, we open it. You can search for PowerShell in the Start menu. Okay, what is shown, it'll bring down a blue window, a command prompt, and a cursor waiting for input. Okay. Step 2, to discover commands. If you type get commands, it will show every available command. Notice something. All commands follow a pattern, and that pattern is verb, noun. Verb doing something to the noun. Get process, get service, get help. Okay. All of these are basically the criteria that we're going to be using, okay, for executing commands. Okay, use built-in help. Type get help, get process. Okay. Explain PowerShell has a built-in help system. It means you don't have to memorize anything. Okay, you just need to know how to look it up. And that's what I was saying previously. That's what PowerShell drives on, that you can basically enter commands that will tell you the various options that you have in order to get things done, and don't really have to memorize it, command by command of what you need to do. You can basically look it up. Step 4, run a real command, type get process, explain, okay, which this is what part of your homework is going to be doing. Explain the output, explain the columns, the process names, the CPU usage. This is all going to be part of the homework assignment. Okay, as far as what information is displayed when you say get process. Important, PowerShell outputs objects, not text. That's why we can manipulate data later in running those objects. Okay, we're going to try to keep it simple for week 1. Step 5, show filtering. You can say get process, but you only want, certain processes. So we got get process bar where object, and in parentheses, this basically says where my CPU time is less than 100. That's what we're doing here. This is the time for CPU, and okay, and I want it where it's more than 100 CPU time. So we'll talk about later, and when we dig in deeper to get process, what is the where or the filtering criteria that we can put in here, and only not to get everything that's in the list, but it's only selected pieces of, in this case, only certain processes that we want to see, and not all of them. Okay, so this command finds processes using more than 100 CPU time units. This is automation thinking. Okay. We're not listing what we're doing now, we're analyzing. Okay, in kind of conclusion, everything you saw today can be saved in a PS1 script file. So everything that we did, based on step 1 through 5, we can put that in a script file. And then later on, rather than, say get process, get process where the CPU time is greater than 100, I just run the script. And when I run the script, it will basically take that information that it created and build me, the output to me, all the things that I did manually before with this, but now I'm putting in the script and doing it automatically. Okay, so that is kind of the overview, the introduction. We're going to do a deep dive into this in the in-class. Hopefully, again, that you're looking at this particular video before we come into class for week 2. I'll put out an announcement out just to kind of remind everything. And again, so I will put this, I'm going to embed this video in the course unit itself, so that you really don't have to worry about clicking on the link, because you're going to forget to click on the link. But if you get that big picture of me looking at you, then maybe that will remind you that you need to look at the weekly video for the given unit. Okay. Also, let me go ahead and let's see if I can get it. Hopefully, and I'm doing this I'm going to go to the unit and kind of highlight here. Just kind of quick overview. Okay, that is our video for the unit. For the class. Okay, and then you'll have one here. I'll put one either in the resources or in the coursework, kind of the video itself. But I just want to show you what it's basically do this week. Assignment 1, Cornell notes, the project lab, and the quiz, all of which are related to the information that we even have discussed in this video, or what we're going to be talking about in class on Tuesday. Bring your laptop, because some of the things we'll be doing will actually be kind of testing out various processes in PowerShell. So I want you to go ahead and make sure you have your laptop, and it's going to be more like a lecture laboratory interaction that we're going to be doing each Tuesday after we basically do the review for the unit. Okay, everyone, so it's kind of a short introduction that's going to lead us into the deep end of the pool. And I hope everyone, if you have any issues at all, please contact me. You have my email address. You can text me, and I'll kind of remind everyone because I'll do it in class, but I'll do it again. I want you to text me your name. I will take the number from your name. I want to create a group shell, okay? And I want to do that because I want to be able to contact you if I need to as quickly as possible and give you the opportunity to contact me. You might say, oh, I can send you an email. Sometimes I'll look at emails, but would you rather me look at it within 24 hours or rather for me to look at it within 10 minutes? Okay. So that's why I want the text so that we can have that interchange with each other. So that if there's something important that we need to understand or something important we need to clarify, doing that through text is much easier. So please, if you have not already done so from previous classes, please text me 336-509-4044. Text me your name, okay, so I can have that information on file in order to communicate with you. Okay, thank you, everyone. I will be looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Under the assumption, I'm assuming that you will have already looked at this particular video by that time. Have a good one. Bye.